A UK-wide project dubbed Happenstance aimed to bring together the technological and the artistic.
Happenstance is a programme that brings together technology and the arts, not in order to make something, but in order to make change, to change the ways that organisations work.
It's kind of a way of bringing technology into a world where people aren't that familiar with technology, which is the arts.
The project called for a technologist in residence.
When I applied, I wasn't really too sure what it was going to be about. I didn't really know what a technologist in residence meant. It was very much trying to see what actually happens when a techie like me gets parachuted into the middle of an arts organisation.
The arts and technology are often uneasy partners.
What tends to happen in the arts is that it gets added on. Not only was there an opportunity to create interesting, creative work, but actually to change how organisations worked.
Well, Happenstance was a project designed to see what happens when creative technology people go into arts organisations. Specifically to understand how you can go beyond a one-off, short-term project into something that has a longer-term effect on an organisation.
Arts organisations are great at developing talent. We work with artists, we create these programmes where artists take an idea for a walk. So we put that kind of residency-based model into a technology environment and invited technologists to work with us at Site Gallery, also at Lighthouse in Brighton, Spike Island in Bristol.
There were 3 organisations and there were 3 pairs of technologists involved in Happenstance.
And they were embedded into the arts organisations for 12 weeks. During that time, they had quite a free rein, but they worked with the teams to develop all sorts of innovative projects, programmes, software, hardware.
At first, the technologists found their practical skills in demand.
We found that we were quite caught up with the day-to-day stuff at the gallery. We really wanted to help the gallery staff, and they had all these urgent tech problems they needed help with.
The project ran for 2 6-week blocks, which in the end merged into one long 12-week block.
It meant that we could kind of work out how the organisation worked and how we were best able to help, but also to inspire and to come up with new ideas and new ways of doing things that may not seen before.
At Lighthouse Media, they had a project called Offbot, which was a way of interacting with each other virtually through an office robot, hence Offbot. And people who were working quite independently suddenly found that they were able to, in a very easy and intuitive way, share that practice, share what they were doing with others.
In Spike Island, they did Design Jam, where they worked together with a whole bunch of designers and technologists across the city to rapidly prototype concepts and ideas, and I think some of those are coming into their venue.
There's been a really interesting parallel that's come up between how the technologists work and how the arts organisations work, and that they actually have more in common than they thought, and that actually they were probably only separated by the language.
Very often the most useful interactions were the things that appeared to be least structured and least goal-oriented. It was the just watching somebody working and observing that became as useful as any concrete outcomes from the project.
Hopefully they'll look at what we've done and see these films and see the blog posts that we've written and the things that we've produced as a result of it, and understand that there are really productive ways for technologists and artists to work together, and there are huge overlaps in the ways that we work and the things that we're interested in.
So have the technologists made an impact?
We've worked with most of the technologists again, which is great, and it means that actually it's kind of changing how we do our more creative work as well.
Most arts businesses rely on amazing people just working really hard and finding solutions for things, and if you brought new kinds of skills into that mix, then rather than doing big commissions for big pieces of work, you could actually do a whole set of micro interventions that change the way you work. So sort of it's about efficiency, but in other ways it's also about a way of working that's slightly different.